Zombies fans, welcome back to our channel. So, we just got Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires, and while fans were excited to see some familiar faces, many noticed something pretty major. Most of the original Zombies cast is gone. That's right, aside from a few cameos, it's a whole new world with a brand new cast, new creatures, and a totally fresh vibe. But here's the twist, it wasn't just a random switch-up. The original cast didn't leave because they were tired or done with the franchise. Nope, they passed the torch on purpose. Today, we're breaking down why Milo Manheim, Meg Donnelly, Chandler Kinney, and more are stepping away from their iconic roles, and what this means for Zombies 5. Before we kick off, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for more awesome content. Let's jump right in. Let's start with the OG himself, Milo Manheim, who brought Zed to life from the very beginning. In Zombies 4, Zed pops back into the story, but you can immediately feel that this isn't about him anymore. Milo's return felt more like a farewell. He shared that filming this fourth movie was deeply emotional. Not because it was sad, but because it was meaningful. He said, "Casting these kids, knowing that we were passing this torch on every moment that we spent with them, it just became clearer and clearer that they are the right ones to carry on the legacy of this franchise." That torch passing wasn't just a metaphor. It was woven right into the movie. In fact, Zed and Addison literally sing, "We're passing you the torch" to the new leads, Nova and Victor. It was the clearest sign that Milo and Meg were ready to step back from being the face of the franchise, at least on screen. Now, don't get it twisted. Milo isn't out of the Zombies world completely. In fact, he and Meg are executive producers now and still very involved in what's next for the universe. He said, "I absolutely will be involved with Zombies for as long as it exists, absolutely behind the camera, and then we'll see what the Zombies universe calls for. If it needs more Zed and Addison, I'm sure we'll be back. And if not, then I think we had a pretty good goodbye this movie. We'll have to see." This movie feels so different than the others. I feel like it is the beginning of a trilogy, and Zombies 3 was the end of one. Milo's also been spreading his wings outside of Disney. Recently, he played Seymour in an off-Broadway revival of Little Shop of Horrors and starred in American Idiot in LA. Theater is clearly his next passion, and he's not hiding it. I absolutely hope to do more theater. The plan is, the goal, if you will, is to go back and forth between film and theater for the rest of my life. I love them both so much. Just Broadway in general is calling my name. I can hear it all the way here in LA, but I'm sure I'll be back on that New York stage at some point. So while he may not be fighting off aliens or vampires anymore, don't be surprised if Milo pops up on your Broadway feed soon and keeps helping shape the future of Zombies from the producer's chair. Let's talk about Addison herself, Meg Donnelly. Zombies wouldn't be what it is without her electric energy, and her return in Zombies 4 had fans both excited and emotional. Meg admitted that she fully believed Zombies 3 was the end. On Zombies 3, I sobbed and mourned, then cried. I genuinely thought that was the last time we were doing a Zombies movie. So I feel like I kind of closed that chapter in my mind. So, coming back for one more round? Total surprise and a gift. But this time, the vibe was different. She described it as less about performing and more about guiding the next generation. This was a whole new experience of me being so excited, feeling all of the feelings that the kids felt. It was more so being an older sister or a mom. When we wrapped, I was just watching all the kids and seeing them cry and react. It was almost more like, I'm just so excited for them. I definitely cried, for sure, but it was more so of just everything that we've been through personally, like Meg and Milo, not necessarily Zombies. Meg's bond with Milo is also something that's kept both of them grounded throughout the years. She said, "We grew up doing these movies together, so we've seen each other in so many phases of our life. Something I've definitely learned from Milo is you have a very positive outlook on everything, and you ask people so many questions and make people feel so seen. I feel like you always inspire me to just be conversational and make people feel more seen. Going through this whole process together, there's a part of me that nobody else will understand but Milo." That connection shows, and their behind-the-scenes partnership is only growing. Like Milo, Meg has no plans to walk away completely. I don't know what is next for Zed and Addison, but no matter what, moving on, Milo and I will always be behind the camera and hoping to executive produce the next ones that come out, she shared, and she's genuinely excited to pass the spotlight to new talent. What's really cool about this movie is exactly what's happening with Zed and Addison, where they're passing the torch to these characters, so were Milo and I. That's the coolest thing, is being able to pass this franchise to a whole new group of kids. It's a symbolic and literal next chapter. Chandler Kinney, who joined the Zombies crew in the second film as werewolf leader Willa, also returned in Zombies 4. And she had her own emotional reaction watching the new cast step in. She said she teared up during the cast's first dinner together, just seeing the new kids talk about their rehearsal days. I remember the first time that we sat down all together for the first ever time at the dinner table, and both Meg and I got a bit teary-eyed just watching the kids talk about their days and rehearsals and seeing all of the exact same emotions that we experienced joining this crazy adventure. The nerves, the excitement, the curiosity of how it's all going to unfold, and us kind of being a further bit down that path and knowing what's in store for them. It brought up so much, and we're so excited for them. For Chandler, the Zombies set became a place of personal and professional growth. She expressed, "It was the most perfect environment just to explore and experiment and learn and make mistakes. It always felt like summer camp. Summer camp is the place where you go and you learn about yourself and you try new things for the first time, and you meet people that you form really close, intense bonds with." So I think that is the perfect metaphor for going away to film these movies. Every time I feel like I've come out changed and changed for the better. Chandler's not shy about the impact her character had on her. Willa, with all her confidence and fiery attitude, pushed Chandler to dig deeper as an actress and as a person. She said, "Willa is such a fierce, fabulous, self-assured, unapologetically herself character. Playing her demanded so much of me. It was a challenge, and I had to really dig to find those characteristics. That's something that I carry with me on future projects, but also just as a person trusting myself, standing up for myself, advocating for myself and those that I love most." Zombies might be evolving, but for Chandler, the experience will always be core to who she is. And while she hasn't said whether she'll return again, it's safe to say she'll carry the lessons with her wherever she goes next. So, what exactly does this all mean for Zombies 5? Well, if you've seen the ending of Zombies 4, you already know Disney isn't done just yet. After Victor and Nova's emotional goodbye scene, the camera pans out, and a massive water explosion erupts from the ocean. Yep, we're heading into aquatic territory. Freya Sky shared, "There are so many things it could be. Loads of things live in the ocean." This kind of cliffhanger has been the franchise's trademark. Before the werewolves arrived, we got teased. Same with aliens, then vampires. So now, the theory is mermaids, or maybe sea monsters, possibly krakens. One fan theory even guessed, what if it's a crossover with Descendants and it's one of Ursula's relatives? Honestly, we wouldn't be mad. Malachi Barton shared, "Low-key, you just hurt my brain. That's genius, I'm not even going to lie. I'm going to call Dara Renee right now and tell her." And Swayam Bhatia said, "It's so immortal because the message of including people and not judging people for what they look like or what they believe in is a message that we're going to have to take with us forever. I love that we keep sharing it throughout each movie in a very different font, in a way." Of course, the OG cast also had something to say about Zombies 5. Milo Manheim expressed, "Maybe I shouldn't say what I'm about to say, but I think we just kind of throw a curveball at the end of every movie and then we figure it out." And Meg Donnelly added, "I think there are a lot of ideas bubbling in case Zombies 5 is greenlit, but as the responses to Zombies 4 start coming out, that's when those ideas will kind of come to life. You'll have to wait a little bit." Now that the original characters are slowly stepping out of the spotlight, Zombies 5 would likely focus almost entirely on the new generation. That includes Nova and Victor, played by Freya Sky and Malachi Barton, along with other new faces like Vera, Swayambhatia, Vargas, McConnon Knife, and Ray, Julian Lerner. They're the future of the franchise. And even in the dialogue of Zombies 4, the messaging is clear. This is a changing of the guard. The entire setup is being built like a legacy sequel. You know, the kind where the original characters hand things off to a new crew. It's a smart move. It keeps the franchise alive, but allows it to grow in new directions. The team behind the camera, still Milo and Meg, but the story, that belongs to a new cast. Thanks for watching. Who's your favorite character from Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires? Are you Team Daywalkers or Vampires? What's your favorite song from the movie? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.